Hello Blitz fans of all ages, it's me, Plumcastle here with another video. In this video I will be sharing with you my favorite tank to run in skirmish mode. What is my favorite tank to run in the mode? It is the Annihilator, and to anyone who does not know what this is yet, it is an extremely overpowered tier 7 premium tank with good armor, decent mobility, and a very deadly gun. And with the smaller map choices that skirmish gives us, it makes it even harder to avoid this tank. Now, technically when it comes to skirmish, any overpowered tank would be the preferred, but I chose this one as my top pick just because of how overpowered it is. And before we get right into the replays, I want to go over a few other statistics that make overpowered tanks so dangerous in skirmish mode. So let's head on over there. So I have here some calculations for OP tanks in normal versus skirmish mode, and you can see if you are not platooning in normal mode, about 1/7 or 14.3% of your team will be overpowered on average. Whereas if you platoon in normal mode, about 2/7 or 28.6% of your team will be overpowered on average. But if you look over here at skirmish, you can see that when not platooning, you can expect to see about 1/5 of your team or 20% of your team being overpowered. Or if you are platooning in skirmish mode, you can see about 2/5 or 40% of your team being overpowered. If you think about that, that's almost half of a team being overpowered, which is absolutely insane and means you can do a lot of devastation when you are platooning in skirmish mode. Just thought I'd show you that before the replays, and so let's get right into it. So this first replay is on Dead Rail Valley, which is the name for this particular map in skirmish mode. I was platooning with Jelly Potato. We were both in Annihilators to see just what we could do. This was the first game I tried in the Annihilator, and even more so the first game I tried while platooning in Annihilator in the skirmish mode, and this was the result. So me and Jelly Potato are heading up, at least I'm heading up towards the house you can see up there. He's heading a little bit more to the left, probably going to peek over the side of the mountain. I'm not really sure. I should have been paying more attention. That does appear to be where he is going. And we have our first spot, the Cromwell B. I couldn't get to him at that moment. I think a Jelly Potato took some shots at him. I started to focus this SU-100Y. He did go behind a rock, though. And looks like a shell just broke near me. And there we go. The SU-100Y has peeked out, and I do get one of my 3 shells into him. This Cromwell is starting to get beaten up by my team, so I'm not really concerned about him. I am going more for the higher health targets because he's going to get cleared quickly, or at least he should have gotten cleared quickly. I don't know why he didn't. So I'm going after this SU-100Y, just kind of pushing, and I noticed at this point that we had a tier 5 on the enemy team, and I was a tier 7, which means someone had an awkward platoon. So I just drive up to this SU-100Y, damage his ammo rack, and unload all 3 shells into him. And the T-29 I want to be careful of, not too concerned about the tier 5. The SU and the T-29 being my main concerns at the moment. So I just dunk my gun down, he bounces, and SU's dead, and the T-29 has just lost a very big chunk of his health. And for the damage, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take out this tier 5, put on easy auto-aim, break his engine, and he's gone. And really, there is no struggle here at all. Jelly Potato finishing off the T-29 and the M41 Walker Bulldog. Apparently a very good player. Unfortunately, there was just nothing he could do, being the last one. So that is what you can do when platooning in an Annihilator. That was the first replay I had, and now I will go and show you the second replay. So for this second and final replay, we were on Normandy Beach, me and Jelly Potato again. And again, another good example of good platooning, but in this case you can even see that we had a Smasher and an Annihilator platoon on the enemy team. When starting this out, I wasn't quite sure how this would go. This was also exactly the second game I played in the Annihilator in platoon with Jelly Potato in skirmish. So, being a small map, there's really only one place to go, and that is the windmill. Me and Jelly Potato are going to push up in that direction. I don't remember if I tried to go for a spot or if I just tried to go hold down. I think I just tried to go hold down, and Jelly Potato is the one who spots. Not sure, but I guess we will find out in a moment. So I start to push up over to this side over this side of the windmill because I know I can use my gun depression to go hull down, and I see the Smasher, and I do want to make sure the Smasher gets taken out as well as the Annihilator, who just showed up. Now this Smasher wasn't really prepared, so I just was able to pop over and dunk all 3 shells into him, and there's Jelly Potato. I think he was getting some into the P-43. I'm just kind of trying to bait this Smasher, but he does go invisible, so I don't know when he's going to peek again, and I don't want to wait there too long, otherwise I lose some damage potential. P-43, and there's the Smasher, actually. I don't shoot, but this P-43 is about to figure out that the Smasher, or sorry, not the Smasher, the Annihilator is a very overpowered tank, and he does unfortunately lose most of his hit points when he peeked up right there. So he is about to die. I'm about to just pop him. Only 1 shell was needed, and he is dead. The enemies are starting to push onto the beach where some of our weaker targets are. It doesn't really matter. Me and Jelly Potato are going to start pushing. There we go. Jelly Potato has gotten a nice big chunk of AG taken out of him. I thought about getting the Smasher because I did not want to try my luck with him, but I do believe he does get cleared, and I'm no longer concerned about him too much because, okay, Jelly Potato does take him out, and now I'm focusing on this Annihilator, who is a very healthy target that I would love to farm out some damage on. At PC auto aim, and I get a fire, and he is gone. And then we move down onto the beach, I believe. SP1C getting in the way a little bit. Doesn't really matter. It was a win even with that minor slowdown. So I'm starting to cap here, and here is the J Panther. Now I actually lose a lot of HP in this part of the point in the game, and I do manage to get 2 of my shells, but not the 3rd one. I'm lowish hit points now. I really don't want to take any more hits from the J Panther. Could afford a couple from the Rudolph, but still better not to take any chances. Rudolph going down, and there goes Jelly Potato, putting in 1 or 2 shots himself, and then I just start to come over down here, put on my PC auto aim, and fire as I pull down, and he is gone. 3,003 damage, which, considering the fact that you're in skirmish and there's technically less damage that you can do, it's actually kind of funny that you can pull off 3,000 damage in a game that literally has 2 less individuals, when a good game, even in normal mode, would also be about that same amount of damage. But there is the Annihilator platooning in a nutshell for skirmish mode. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, have fun, good luck, and happy tanking.